I recently made this bias skirt, and not to brag, but it turned out well. So here I am about to walk you through the pattern and sewing process like your friendly, crafty grandma. As usual, I have taken the noble grocery bag to make the pattern because I refuse to spend money on pattern paper when my veggies already came with free drafting material. First up, we are going to mark the hip length, aka the length from the waist to the widest part of your hip. For me, that's 10 inches because I'm going for a slightly high waist vibe. Next, mark the full skirt length. Mine is 39 inches. Now draw horizontal lines at the points we marked. Now let's mark the skirt waist. Take your full hip circumference, divide it by 4, then subtract 2.5 inches. That will give the skirt waist, and mine is 7.5 inches. I'm gonna mark that. At the hip length line, we are gonna mark hip measurement. That is full hip circumference divided by 4. Mine comes out to 10 inches, so that's what I'm marking. Around the waist, I'm adding a 1 cm seam allowance, and around hip, I'm giving it a generous 2 cm margin because they do like some extra space to move. Now connect the waist point to the hip point. And then from the hip point, draw a line all the way down to the skirt length. This is where you decide how dramatic you wanna be. A subtle A line or a twirl-worthy flare. Now from the waist point, mark 1 cm down, then connect it to the waist mark and give it a good curve because we don't want straight line. At the bottom, mark 1 cm inward, then connect that point to the center seam and then give it a good curve. I'm also gonna add a slight curve from the waist to the hip. The last step is to add 1 cm seam allowance at the waist and 2 cm at the bottom of the skirt. We have already added seam allowance on the sides, so go ahead and cut it out. Let's write on fold over here, and then we will be cutting this on bias as in 45-degree angle. So I'm gonna mark the grain line. Now the pattern is ready. Let's go ahead and make the skirt. Let's convert this lovely red satin fabric that I got for a collab from Elegante Fabrics into a bias skirt. You will need 2 meters to make this skirt. Make sure to use a fabric that drapes really well, like satin, crepe or silk. Lay out your fabric and now pick one edge and place it diagonally across to the other side. If you have done it right, it should look like a triangle. Now place the pattern on it as shown and cut it. This magical diagonal lets the fabric drape well. If you don't cut it on bias, your skirt is just gonna hang there like it has given up on life. No flow, no stretch, no sass. Now this will be the front. Cut one more in the same way for the back. That's the front and that's the back. Now place the front piece on top of the back with right sides facing each other. Sew both the sides together like you're sealing the gossip pen. Satin is that fabric which looks pretty, feels fancy, but behaves like a stubborn youngest child, which coincidentally is also me. To hold both the fabrics, clip them. If you use pins, it might leave marks, hence the clips. If your satin is on the thinner side like mine, you might want to add a lining. But if your fabric's got enough dignity, aka thickness, feel free to skip this step. Do the same thing with the lining, right sides together, sew up those sides. Now insert the lining into the main fabric, align the waist like a perfectionist and sew all around the waist. You're basically marrying the main fabric and the lining. No prenup, just a forever bond stitched in place. Now grab a 1-inch wide elastic and wrap it around your waist. Make sure it's snug but not cutting off circulation snug, where it feels comfortably secure. That's your magic elastic length. Now take the elastic ends, place them next to each other like two besties posing for a picture. Then take a little fabric scrap and place it underneath. Now do a zigzag stitch to join the ends. I saw this hack in a reel and thought this makes way too much sense. You can always overlap the elastic and do the zigzag stitch the old school way, but in this method there are no bumps, just sleek, drama-free waistband. Now fold the elastic like you're teaching it basic geometry. Just divide it by 4 equal parts, mark the points like you're plotting a treasure map. Now do the same thing with the skirt. Fold it like a love letter to your future fashionable self and mark the points. These markings are your GPS coordinators for a smooth, no bunch waistband. Now insert the elastic as shown, align those marked points like your matchmaking soulmates, clip them together because commitment is key. Now sew a zigzag stitch. Make sure to stretch the elastic while sewing. Here's what it looks like after sewing. I'm gonna add a top stitch right here. This is totally optional, but I feel like it helps the waistband behave. Now fold the elastic inward like it's shy and doesn't want to be seen. Then on each side, we're gonna stitch from the top all the way down to where the elastic ends, basically pinning it in place. Now comes the last step, hemming the skirt. We are going for a pin hem because we are fancy like that. So here's the drill. Fold the edge by 1 centimeter and sew as close to the edge as you can. Then take a deep breath, grab your scissors and cut the extra fabric close to the stitch. Now fold it again and sew it down. Yes, it takes time. Yes, you will question your life choices halfway through, but once it's done, you will be like, who is she? She is hemmed, she is polished, and she is unstoppable. And for the lining, you can just double fold it and sew it, and the skirt is ready.
When we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. All the good times just begun. We know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life.